Hi everyone, this is Susanna Pagosian and welcome to the Basement Tapes. I really am a curious cat, so this is where we're going to explore new ideas, talk about any issues, talk about life really, and where your faith takes you, whether you have faith or you don't have faith. I hope you come here with an open mind and you enjoy this episode.
What do I gotta do to make you love me?
And then he goes, what I gotta do?
What do I gotta do
to make you
care?
What I gotta do? Ooh.
One of our legends.
Բայց տենց բանն էլ է, տենց Zucchero-ն էլ է տենց գիտես?
Ով?
Zucchero.
Who's that?
Zucchero is like a very talented musician, like accomplished, very big musician.
From where?
Italy.
Oh.
Շատ լավն է Zucchero-ն.
Well, welcome to the Basement Tapes podcast.
All right.
Today I have Chris Daniel and Jivan Gasparyan Jr. How did you guys find the studio and why are you here?
We came to the church. I met Chris outside.
I've had the pleasure of knowing you for a minute, and I follow you, and I listen to the podcast and the cool guests, mutual friends.
I know, it's been a while.
We appreciate what you're doing, and was like, hey, could we pop in and say hi?
Thank you for supporting me, Chris, and thank you for being here, Jivan. For those who don't know, just a little bit of a background. Chris is a drummer. He's a musician. He has been part of incredible bands, including Viza, which they have toured worldwide. I believe you have drummed for Christina Aguilera.
First gig was with Macy Gray and Black Eyed Peas.
Nice.
Then it all happened because I was attending MI in Hollywood, Musicians Institute. Got like a encore scholarship for a program. I was like 16. You can attend, it's like kind of like a junior college for musicians.
Yeah.
So you gotta be out of high school. But I was still in high school. I got luck of the draw. I went, auditioned for some stuff, so landed that. Then we went and played with Christina in Dubai.
Nice.
That was really fun.
So a lot of artists. Between you two, I mean, I think we've come across a lot of different genres.
Yeah.
Jivan Gasparyan Jr., you are the grandson of the legendary Jivan Gasparyan. You are one of the most well-known duduk players, and you have recorded with artists like Peter Gabriel and Brian May, who, just the list can go on and on. And you want to say a little bit about yourself?
I don't know. I grew up in a musical family. And from young age, I was listening to my grandpa playing, practicing, and all the musicians from the world that were coming to Armenia. We were showing Armenia, and I was part of it, with the family. And then, but I didn't play duduk until I came to the USA, and in '98, when I was like 15 years old. That's when I started to play here, because I missed my country, my parents. I was here by myself at my aunt's house. So then, but I wanted to practice and become a pharmacist, so I was going to that direction until my grandfather, he was recording the soundtrack for the film Gladiator, and I went with him there. And when I met Hans Zimmer, Ridley Scott, that every day we were going there, like 5 days we were there.
Legends in their
I
field.
said, this is what I want to do, really. And he said it's too late because I was already 16. But he gave me a duduk. He said, just practice, let me see what you can do.
Nice.
And without a master to learn duduk, it's very hard. But I said, let me just try. So I tried. After a year, he came back and he saw that because I was listening to his recordings every day until morning, 7 o'clock. Then I was going to high school and coming back and listening again, going to the closet, practicing, trying, I was trying to copy his melodies, because I didn't have the master with me.
Yeah.
So then after a couple of years, when he saw it's happening, he said, just continue doing it. and then he took me with him to the concerts, to travel around the world. And I've seen a lot, and he showed me the world. He showed me whatever the artist needed to see, feel, to the biggest stages, to the solo performances that he was letting me perform at his concerts, and just showing me around, very proudly. And until the end of our, days of performances, he was like, really, Jivan, not that you are my grandson that I'm telling you this, but for me, you are a very good musician, very good. You have a good future. Yeah, and he was a very wise man. If he says something, it's not just he's just saying because I'm his grandson or his friend or nothing like that. He was saying the truth, and I believe his words. And then after he's gone, then they invited me to Armenia to play with Brian May. And it was like the first thing big happening.
I think we need to clarify for those who don't know. They know the band, but they won't know the band members. But it's the lead guitarist of Queen.
Oh, the Brian May, yeah.
Yeah.
He was in Armenia, and Jivan played with him back in days in Tromsø at the Nelson Mandela's festivals. I played with him too, Nelson Mandela's 90th birthday in London Hyde Park. That was like a different performance back in days, where Amy Winehouse was.
Like no big deal. Only you were only in a room with like the most
like
iconic
Jones,
people, like Amy Winehouse and Nelson Mandela's
concert was crazy.
Oh my
Like
gosh! Do
Quincy
you have?
Jones. I have everything.
Oh
I have
my
all the
God,
pictures.
Quincy Jones.
Everyone was there. So
Chris, were you there?
Unfortunately, I was not.
Chris Tucker was there.
Chris Tucker was there. Let me tell you how crazy it was. Like knowing him, playing in the band with him, he would be like, "Okay, guys, we're in somewhere. I don't know, Hungary." He'd be like, "I'm gonna go to Russia and I'll meet you in France." And we're like, "What do you mean, bro? There's only 24 hours in the travel." I mean, he did some amazing, crazy things to make it happen, but after he did it, we're like, where did he go? Where did he go? And then you see the caliber of the event that he played, and we're like, dude, we're really lucky to have this guy with us, man. Like,
Totally.
Yeah, I would fly somewhere to play with my grandpa, let's say, and come back to join them, instead of laying down, waiting for the, I didn't want to leave the chance to miss a concert with my grandpa.
That's incredible.
So,
you guys, how long have you? So you guys are both in a band named Viza,
Yep.
which is it reviving or are those rumors?
it's rumors. No. So it's been a while. We miss playing. Bottom line, we miss playing. Everybody's got families and kids now, and they're busy, work, kids, family, wife, life, and it's a beautiful thing. And we've all stuck together. We're all great friends. But it's like a different chapter to kind of dedicate that time constantly being away. I think for the majority of us, we had a great time doing it. We'll always play, but to make it like a career or try and go back and put yourself out there while you got a wife and kids at home, not happening, no. But we do love playing music together. So we said, hey, you know what? This past April, ANC, ARF, and AYF wanted to do the Silence, the Lives Rock the Truth kind of revamp show, something we had done for almost
Forever.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day that was like the biggest thing to go to.
Yeah, it was, and you know what? It was my favorite because it was all of us in one room, and there's nothing wrong with diversity, and
it was so fun.
I love all the fans from all over the world, but it was just something different on April 24, having a room full of 500 kids to 1,000 kids, just the passion, that energy is unmatched. And we know that we had an impact on the youth and the arts, and we kind of hold ourselves accountable in keeping the integrity in the arts and not necessarily treating it like an after-school program where the parents are going to drop off the kid. Whether they like it or not, they're just going to kind of spend their time. But Antranik Kazirian, who plays the oud in the band, I know he's heavily involved in the AYF and the youth and bringing, the youth centers back up to par and just giving lessons, and Jivan does an amazing amount of work with the youth and teaching kids. Just try to get into it and just be curious about it. I'm running the theater over there in production and stage, so I see a lot of kids coming in and out, and it gives them like a breath of fresh air to kind of, I'm surprised when they're like, hey, you're the guy from Viza. And I was like, how do you even know? Your dad was at my show. Like, how does this work? But we were like, hey, you know what? Since there's a demand, we should get together and do a gig or two.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
When's your next gig? Do you have one?
Yep, September 6th at the AGBU Performing Arts Center in Pasadena. It's going to be a very nice evening. It's all going to be throwback stuff.
Sounds very tamed.
It's not tamed, but it's not going to be a metal show.
Okay.
Yeah. Krista Marina is going to play with us. She is a fantastic young and up-and-coming artist.
What does she do?
She's a solo singer-songwriter. I've done a few cover tracks with her. Yeah, you should look her up. She's pretty great.
So when it comes down to music, Armenian culture, and how it's impactful, when you guys both started in music and playing the drums and the duduk and you're building your craft, in your mind, was there ever a thought like, I want to influence the Armenian community, or Armenian culture, Armenian music? Was that always part of your identity while you're creating or growing in music?
It was the first thing I ever listened to was Armenian music. It was the way I was brought up. I wasn't allowed to listen to like English, like make Kiss FM and stuff. Not happening. I learned how to play drums to like Karnik Sarkisyan and Vache and Manuel and Paul and so.
Really?
Yeah.
How old were you when you started playing drums?
I was 7.
Oh, okay.
My grandma bought me a drum set then, but before that I had the durbeki, the dumbek, the hand drum, but it was like only into my teens where like the system movement happened, and that's when I was like, yeah, I can rebel and I can apply this to metal. I mean, that's how they opened the doors for so many people, right?
Yeah.
It was a fusion mix of our music and our grooves with heavy metal, So I was like, wow, this can happen. And I was 11, and kind of just took off after that.
And Jivan, for you, I mean, I guess you're playing the duduk. I mean, that's all you're thinking about is your Armenian identity.
Yeah, but I had the chance to introduce the Armenian real traditional music to the world with my grandpa. We had like a duduk quartet, and we had like arranged with a great composer. He was doing our arrangements, the Armenian melodies with 4 duduks. It was really nice, and but then at the concerts I was playing like Summertime with duduk, like different types of music I was playing, also showing the instrument all the possibilities, the sounds, what you can do. And because it's a simple instrument, it's like 1 octave, but you can play so many things like melodies, do improvisations. If you have the taste in music, you know what you're doing, you can play with rock. Like I started to play with Viza, I joined them, I did all the improvisations with them. And then we did collaborations with different world-known artists. It's just you have to know the music, know your instrument possibilities, but there is always like mysteries inside the duduk that you have to find, like technically stuff. I tried and I found so many things on it that my grandpa was really appreciative on. Like he said, you found it, it's really, that's something you found. He was mentioning it, it was not just saying that we did it, he was saying that you did this, because it was something new. I mean, you can play Summertime on duduk, but the way you play, the way I played, he really liked it,
I have a question. Duduk doesn't have keys, no?
No, it's just holes. That's it.
So
you create the
like
each
what
note.
key he plays in?
There's no
he
keys.
switches. There is. If it's in C, if it's
There,
in,
the duduks, they are, because it's just 1 octave. You have like I have
technically
like different keys of duduks, but when you close your fingers, it's not like a clarinet. You press the button.
Yeah.
And not like piano. You create every note.
exactly.
With the air, with your finger, with the, I don't know, with your lips, cheeks, like the all this brain, heart, everything works when you play a song or you play one note, the vibration, the sound, how you feel the note. That you can just play one note and the person in front of you can have chills. It's like that kind of instrument.
Per usual, every time I hear duduk, I feel that way. But if there were like the clarinet, how there's keys applied, why do you think there's no keys applied to duduk?
Because duduk is like you play from your soul. It's like you speak. However you speak, you sing. That's what it is.
Shots fired at the clarinet players. You got no soul.
No.
No, this question comes from a flute player, like a classical flute player. And I asked him, I'm like, hey, I'm not very familiar with like flutes and duduk, like those type of instruments. What's an interesting question? And he's like, why don't you ask that question? And I was like, oh, is that a stupid question? No. And he's like, no, it's not a stupid question.
For me, duduk is the best musical instrument for me. That's why I'm playing. I could play others. I love other instruments. I love the good performers.
You should see him on the drums.
But I love my instrument. That's really, you can speak with your instrument. You can just be by yourself with your instrument and just speak with it. And it will tell you stories. Some melodies it will bring some melodies out from your soul, really. It will teach you. While you are practicing, it's going to teach you.
That's why I
now
play
you're
drums.
like inspiring me. Should I start playing the duduk? I mean, I do have the cheeks and it's
You gotta play.
Have like big. You don't have to put like too much air.
You can make them big. Put marshmallows in there.
If you guys
Chubby
could
bunny.
see what I'm doing is I'm blowing air into my cheeks. I'm trying to make them look bigger. Like, look, it's totally possible.
You can play without having air in your cheeks, but the way it's gonna sound different. And some people, they don't want to have that look, with the cheeks, But
I do.
But
are there any female duduk players? Not to cut you off.
There are some. There were some. There are some. But I don't know.
No one as great as you.
Not me. I'm not the best one. My son is saying I'm the best.
Just being modest. He's just being modest. Yeah. Like I think that everyone, in some way, shape, or form, there is an art form that relates to them, to their soul, right?
Yeah, of course.
He was saying the duduk because he could speak with it. Well, I don't speak, I yell, so that's why I play the drums. Everything
totally
you do with the drums, it matches your energy, right? It matches your soul. Somehow, some people like drawing, some people like
singing.
Singing, whatever the case is. But I just think the art of tapping in to your like inner self and your arts and like what do I want, your creativity, thank you, it's a lost art completely, because kids, I mean, I don't know, I'm nervous.
Those kids,
I'm nervous.
Darn,
look,
Chris,
we're old now, man. Like people are like talking back to me, like they're like Paron Chris. I was like, do not even Paron. What the hell? Seriously, Hopar John, no Hopar.
Just
I don't
call
know.
me Chris.
Yeah, if there's a way you can just get that spark going in them, it means the world. I mean, look, it happened for me. Even when Jivan joined the band, I was in a different place. I was playing my instrument differently. I was kind of more like a hood rat. I was up there rocking out, doing this thing. But then he brought this presence to the music and to the stage.
Professionalism.
Well, God, you know what, man?
He was a professional.
The bottle.
He was a professional.
He is a professional, classically trained. Just like, but at the same time, he showed us that, hey, you can have fun.
You could be classy.
Yes, yeah, okay. Jivan taught me class.
Thank God someone did.
Oh, Lord. I'm really not that bad, guys. We just know each other. That's why we can talk all this schmack. However, it was a blessing getting this guy involved, because you kind of hit a wall when you have
By rockers.
rock songwriting, Now, this opened like a whole different horizon of possibilities. And I'm telling you, I think people really enjoyed, sure, they enjoyed the heavy stuff, but where we really spoke to people was when we had the oud, the dumbek, the duduk, interchanging parts. And then every now and then, the music got a little crazy,
You know what I remember? I was a teenager. How old was I coming to the shows? I was like 18, 19, 20. And I remember when like Jivan would come up and it was like his person, like everyone would be like so serious. Like everyone is like saluting, like put your hand over your heart and like pledge allegiance. And I was like, everyone stop rocking and moving, just focus. And I remember like your presence would focus everyone onto what was important, and we would cry, and then the moment you were done, it was like Chris is like 1, 2, 3, 4 like,
back to reality.
Yeah. And it was such a great reminder. Are you okay? It was such a good reminder of like the duduk was like reminding all the Armenians in Los Angeles that this it's an indescribable feeling. You can't, like, I listen to it and all I want to do is cry.
Yeah, it forces you to tap in. You whether you like it or not, you're gonna feel something.
It takes me back to like history, like what was my great grandmother doing, or my great grandfather? Like, where did they live? What did they do? What did they enjoy? Did they like what happened? What were they doing with their Turkish neighbors? Like all this stuff. And it's incredible that one sound could take you there. It's a time machine didn't.
Ես չեմ կարում լսեմ դուտուկը, որտեվ շատ հուզվում եմ. Straight up. If I want to tap into that emotional side, I'll put it on and I'll let her rip. Just
Chris, tell you the truth, sometimes when I play, I get so emotional that I'm not able to play.
Yeah,
let's ask Jivan this
there
question.
are some
Jivan,
moments.
like, how often are you recording with the duduk now currently?
Not that much, because
he's a daddy of two fantastic boys.
Yeah, thanks. And that time period of my life, like after my grandpa passed away, like 3 years ago, and there were some other difficulties in life that I had to handle, and I'm handling. I mean, everything is great now. I'm back in my music, and everything is back on track. Because there is seriously, there is nothing that can hold me back, not to play, not to be. That's my life. That would before, like when I was in Armenia, I moved there for 6 years because I was playing concerts. It was so much concerts. Like every month, like I had like 15, 20 concerts with my grandpa band. And or playing with orchestras, like different countries. I was very busy, but I was making like good. That was my life, But then it stopped after this COVID.
Oh yeah.
Everything stopped, and then my grandpa died, and died. I don't like to say that word.
Passed away.
He passed. My grandpa.
He's not dead.
Away. I know that's
still very much alive.
He's every
Always
day.
with you.
When I take the instrument, I even have a box with his instrument, his last instrument that he said, I don't need all of this, just take everything. Just leave me this one, this sandpaper, the scissors, and like couple of things that he was fixing his instrument.
Oh.
And it's in a box, like and when I open it, it has this smell, the duduk, it smells. It's like a special smell,
Scent, yeah.
It's amazing.
It belongs in a museum.
But I'm so grateful to him that what I was saying. I'm back in my life again. I'm starting.
You're reviving yourself. It's a reincarnation of Jivan.
And now I feel differently. I play differently.
That you've gone through so much in life.
Yeah, really. I'm with my age. I had seen so much stuff. From like. I lost my father, my grandfather, like a lot of things I lost in my life that I cleaned my life now. I'm getting together everything, whoever I need next to me.
The right people.
Yeah, the right people, and who I need to take care of, I do take care of, and whatever I need, I'm doing it. But only the music is like, when I don't play, I feel so bad. Like, I don't know, I don't feel good.
It's the way you breathe. It's like when I don't come and do this podcast, I feel like I can't breathe.
Yeah, because you're doing it from the heart, you know? If it's your passion.
My passion.
Yeah, I kept a studio for years, even though I wasn't playing with a band or anything like that. I still kept...
Look who's calling me. By the way, you know this guy.
¿Por qué?
So you guys, my phone just is ringing and Brandon Martinez is calling me. And Brandon Martinez, someone gifted him. I think it was you. He's like, he has a duduk.
Yeah.
He's like, someone gave me this duduk. And I was like, do you know what that is? It's like, yeah. I'm like, who gave it to you? He's like, Jivan Gasparyan Jr. I was like, what? Where? When? In Armenia, I think you gave him a duduk.
Maybe. I've given
He's an artist.
Uh-huh.
He's my childhood friend.
Nice.
He's a beatboxer.
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go. It's Box of Beats. His name used to be Box of Beats.
There were so many people interested in duduk. There were like musicians, 60, 70-year-old even. I had musicians like calling me.
So you're just giving out duduks left and right all the time?
Not giving out, but just whoever wanted to buy, I was giving to my master. He was giving them like a professional one, not to buy it from outside or internet, eBay. They sell some for duduks, but from the wrong wood. It has to be from apricot.
It's one thing that you do not like about your instrument. Chris, go about the drums.
Loading.
Like physically?
Yeah, physically loading. Imagine seeing...
I remember your instrument, man, because of if we were struggling in Europe.
Imagine I had to wake up out of a bus every morning, lug out giant tour cases, get everything ready. Meanwhile, this guy's still snoring. Canoop is taking a nap. The guitarist is polishing his stuff. And I'm just carrying, setting up, carrying.
Neden drums açet and only the drums need.
Hokis gelar, dude. And I would be like, okay. And they're like, we're ready for sound check. And all of a sudden, you see these spring chickens coming out of the... Patras tekas is, He just gets his damn duduk and walks to the stage, bro. And then after, I have to pack it all. And he's like, I'll see you later, bro.
Okay,
Grabs his duduk, goes
don't
back.
Forget. Okay, but mention also that how we were like team working, getting your instruments, packing to the bus.
After a while, I had a mental breakdown.
Because
I was like, we're 17 guys. There is no way.
Imagine
you guys aren't going to help me. And they're like, La Veli hangis ba. Because I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm not touring ever again. Meanwhile, it's the first tour.
After each show, we had maybe 10 minutes to get the stuff out from the stage.
No.
And they were helping Serj. We were traveling with Serj. He was we were opening for him.
Serj Tankian
Serj Tankian
yeah.
system. We were opening for him. So we had in Europe, maybe 10 concerts, if I'm not mistaken.
10? We toured with them for 3 years, dude.
No, at that moment, that time period when I was in Armenia. When we went to Germany,
we had about a 10 or 15 show run, but I mean, look, if that's not with Viza headlining, you're opening for Serj. That means you're on a schedule. You better obey that schedule, and when you need to be off stage, you better have everything off stage.
So everyone help Chris pack his drum set.
we were so his drum set was going underneath the bus. And there is the storage, But we had to understand how it should be organized, First thing first, which...
Tetris from hell.
Yeah. And then by the time we found out, it was the overhead.
Yeah. So he's like, where does this go? Where does that go? I was like, just leave it,
by
leave
the
it.
time we figured out everything, it was the end of the tour.
It was the last show on the last show of the tour. And we were like, oh, this is how it fits. Okay.
There were days, rainy days, when they were bringing... and. Let's say Suguru saying, "No, I know how to do it." Suguru, you don't know how to do this. You just move away. No, let's try. We're okay, just let's try your way.
Suguru a thing?
Suguru was our Japanese keyboard player back in the day.
So he was putting it his way, and then it's raining, heavy rain. So we were all wet.
all of that was my fault because after I had my mental and emotional breakdown, everyone felt compelled to be like, you know what? Let Chris take a break. I know how to do this. So I would come back an hour later and they're still in the rain or the snow being like, bro, I don't get it. I was like, go away. and I have to do it all over again. It was like, dude, if you can't do it yourself, it's not going to be done.
Oh my
Crazy
God, you
times.
guys, that's hilarious.
We got stopped at the Croatian border at Zagreb, and it was like -7. We're not even in a bus. We're not even in a tour bus. We're in a sprinter. And I was sleeping on the storage above, you know, where they have the area for the bags.
Yeah,
At the time, I
luggage.
was very small. So I climbed, and we're all sitting like vorvori. Like, we're just smelling, breathing, loving each other. Like, incha utum duel utumas. You have no choice. And I was like, I'm going to die. And I can't sit next to you guys for how long do we have? 14 hours. I was like, this is not happening. So I climbed up and I slept. There's a photo of me just with probably the same sunglasses, curled up in the storage sleeping. And then we got stopped by customs. And they opened the door and they're like, everybody out. And I was like, sir, I'm in basketball shorts, no pabuj, no socks, nothing. And he goes, everybody out. I was like, but sir. And he caught that as like confrontational. So it made him even more mad. He made us stand outside in the snow for 20 minutes, told us to empty everything out of the sprinter. And then he said, okay, put back. And we had to put it all back. And the whole band was like, it's because you gave him attitude, bro. I was like, listen, dude, we were going to stand here anyway. Do not put the blame on me. I loaded it and unloaded it. It's fine. But yeah, we've gone through some fun stuff.
Okay.
There are some stories we can't even
Hold
tell
on.
you
So
right
what's
now.
your least?
I can't tell you
hold
any
on.
of the stories.
What's the least? That was the least favorite part of playing the drums. What's your least favorite part of playing the duduk?
Least
It's
favorite
not
part?
that. It's clearly not loading and unloading.
What I don't like about duduk,
Yeah.
when the weather changes on stage, like let's say
It's too cold.
it's cold, it's
Too
humid, because the second part of my instrument is that it's a double reed. It's like
Yeah, I've
it's
seen
a
that.
reed, so it changes. So it makes it sometimes it makes it hard. You have to control the tone. You know, you can't control the pitch.
Wow.
The pitch goes away.
Yes, the pitch.
It's changing. It's like crazy.
Outdoor
And that was
festivals.
So
even
Miami,
outdoor.
Florida would be a terrible spot for you to.
No,
Never gone.
There are some things. There is also a way of to figure it out. I mean, from experiencing to having experience with duduk, you have to know which reed in which weather the ones you have gets. The easy ones gets. You have to put the easy ones when it's like very humid, because if you put the real good one, it becomes so hard that you cannot make the sound.
You mean the
reed.
song, the rhythm?
The reed.
The reed. It's
Oh,
like
the
the mouthpiece.
The mouthpiece.
Yep.
If it's the hard one, it's humid. We won't be able to
There's
play.
different reeds.
Yeah,
Yep.
different pitches, different.
So are the reeds made of different wood, or it's the same wood?
It's a reed. It's
I don't know
like
what
a
a reed
bamboo.
is.
Bamboo.
Oh, got
Reed.
it.
Bamboo?
Bamboo.
Bamboo.
Oh, the bamboo.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm your
Bamboo.
translator.
Bamboo.
Bamboo
Jivan's most disliked part of his instrument
Is
the weather change.
the weather change. Did everyone know? That is a Snapple fact. I
Yes.
didn't know that. But is it because it's not the reed, it's the reed, it's not the apricot wood.
Yeah, it has two. It's from the
Both?
duduk is two pieces. The bottom part, apricot wood, and the top part, the mouthpiece, from reed,
From the bamboo.
from the bamboo.
I
So
didn't
that
know
one
that.
is really hard to control, because that's a very important part to have the tone, like the real good tone. But you also create your own tone. Also, that's not like you just put the air and it says, it's becomes the sound. It's just you can't. So you have to keep you have to have I don't know, the right
I'm
and
making
good
a
read.
I'm making a conclusion. In order to be a duduk player, you have to have such a deep soul. Like, you need to be a very deep person. You can't, you have to be very emotional.
I concur.
Yeah. You can't just be like a regular Joe Schmo.
It's definitely a difficult.
You can't be a bland person. Like, you have to be so emotional to play duduk. Like with your whole body, soul, and mind, like you just said. I've learned so much about the duduk in this last 30, 40
You have
minutes.
to have a full life inside of you. If you are empty, it's there. You cannot say anything.
Have you ever felt empty?
No.
Really? Never?
No.
You've never hit rock bottom?
No, I've never been empty.
You know how gifted you are? Do you know how blessed you are? But do you know that?
Probably I feel it because if I wasn't gifted, duduk is such a hard instrument that I wouldn't be able to accomplish this, the controlling of the duduk. I couldn't be learning from like on the phone. My grandpa once a year of a lesson. It was in my genes.
Of
it was
course,
in me.
genetically, you're talented.
Genetically, yeah. Otherwise, it's impossible. And what's the thing is that with duduk you have to play, let's say, from 9 years old. I started when I was 16, but after like 5 years, I was already traveling with my grandpa. He saw that I'm growing every day.
Your grandfather was a catalyst for you. You know what catalyst means? Like a bullet train, like speed lesson. Like without him, it would be difficult. Without a master, it's difficult.
Without him, I would never play this instrument. Even he was the reason that I loved his performance of duduk.
Yeah.
There are hundreds of duduk players, but the way he plays, that's what inspired me. I love the way he plays, even when he speaks, when he sings. That's what I love about, that's how I started to play.
Yeah. So you've never felt empty, Chris? You? As a drummer? As an artist? I feel like a lot of artists were so emotionally like wild.
Yeah, we're disturbed.
So when artists are...
When everything's going right and I'm happy, it's really hard to write a good song. And I'm sure... This has
you have
been
to be
said.
depressed.
There's
to
this
like
cliche, dude. Yeah. Even if I'm sad or I'm angry, a happy song might happen, But that's as far as like lyricism, vocals, maybe some keys I'll play. But for the drums, aside from the physical aspect of like just getting better at your technique, right, or your speed, you need to be surrounded by some really good people, and I can easily say between Viza, between the great big artists like that we've watched on MTV and being able to play with them, but those are not, you have to follow a certain script with those. You have to play a certain way with those artists. But outside of that, I tapped into the best gift, which was playing with people that you love and you respect. Any guitar player, duduk, singer, anybody I've been lucky enough to cross paths with, Cebu, Dave Hagopian from Apex Theory, all of my Viza boys. It's like they bring so much to the table, you can't not feel anything. You can't feel empty because you're always surrounded by such creativity and just things are coming at you and they're keeping you busy. Only time you feel kind of out and about was after, like during COVID. You're not playing. Everyone's isolated. It was when their presence was lacking in my life, You don't have these guys. All he has to do is play one little thing on the duduk or the guitar, and my head is already going to a million places, and I'm showing him all these beats, and that's giving me life.
Yeah.
But if I'm sitting in an empty room, I'm not trying to be some TikTok drummer going, look how fast I can play this. Am I cool? Yeah, you like me. Follow me. My name is Sven. I'm not that guy, dude. And I accept it, I'm not going to be this like millionaire TikTok guy, but you know what? I'm true to my craft. I'm true to my music. I'm true to myself. And that's what matters. You never feel empty. You just apply yourself a little less because real life is happening. You got bills and life.
As an artist, do you find that it's important to hit rock bottom and to feel that in order to create something great, or it's not necessary? According to Jivan, it's not necessary. Jivan is a class act.
We come from different backgrounds for sure. And I will say, just to add to what Jivan was saying.
But I don't think Jivan understands it. Jivan, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, like Nirvana and like all these like rock bands, and they were like really like in like low places, and then they had nothing, and like Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin as a heroin addict, and like they were just like in La La Land, and they were just, all they were doing and all they cared about was like creating music, and then like out of that came out like these incredible pieces.
You're describing me from 16 to 25.
Okay, because you're Chris.
But he was alongside to pull me out of it. Do you get what I'm
But
saying?
I'm telling you, my question is like, as an artist, in order to get the best out of you, do you have to know what it is to be all the way low in your life?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I have been my lowest one in my life when I spent like hard times in my life too.
Because to me, before you continue, to me, it's so fascinating when an artist is at the bottom. To me, that's like everything. To me, I'm like, this is where it's gonna get good.
Look, when I was
This is where it's gonna get really, really good.
I'm telling you, depression, before you're gonna get the best.
before 15, I was in Armenia, like having great kids, childhood, like different. When I got here, when I started the life in America, it was like different for me. I went to school.
Welcome to plastic life.
Walking to school, like far away, taking a bus, and I don't know, working in a McDonald's. I used to work in a painting store, in like selling oil paintings, carpets, rugs, fixing stuff. It wasn't easy for me, especially when I had like a very famous grandfather, and all the people that were looking. I work in a McDonald's making it. But I was, for me, it was like a very good thing for a guy to see everything. You have to appreciate everything. You have to appreciate the money that you make, your friendship. Like this COVID, like what's the good thing about this COVID, that it gave everyone to realize and appreciate their life that they had, their friendship, their parties, their get-togethers. Their enjoying life outside.
So
Everyone realized.
you realize
how life.
during COVID, you realize what the meaning of life is. So one thing that's so incredible is that I find music to be a gift. It's a pure, pure, pure gift. And I think during COVID, you learn what's important. You know what life is about. And from that is you realize all the gifts that God has given you. Has there been a time where do you guys always like are so thankful for the gift that you've been given? Do you ever think about that you're so gifted?
I'm always thankful to everything. Even where they say, what do you see when you open your eyes? You see the light. When you first thing in the morning, when you open your eyes, they say, what do you see when you wake up? And you see the light. When you see the light, you have to appreciate it and say thank you. Really, that works. And if you just keep doing what you love, and it's gonna come to you, it's gonna bring happiness and good stuff to you. If you do something else, you're gonna be like lost, and nothing is gonna happen. Just keep doing what you love and what you do the best. That's the important thing, and you have to appreciate every single moment. Love everyone. Don't do anything bad to anyone. Just be, just don't complain. Don't complain. Never complain about anything. This is what you have. It's a moment that needs to be, that's it.
A question to both of you. How has your faith guided you in your music career? Chris?
I feel like it's super rare to say this nowadays, but I grew up in a Christian home. We are a Christian family. We are believers. Sure, made a lot of mistakes. Not necessarily the perfect model, to be the perfect Christian by any means. However, I think having faith and your connection with God and your relationship with God be transparent. Man, I don't know if I would be here. I've gone through some pretty dark times. I've made some mistakes. I've been hard on myself up until I realized that there's ultimately one person's forgiveness that I'm seeking.
But how has that guided you in music?
It's guided me in music to stay away from the dark alleys, if you will.
And Jivan, for you, how has your faith guided you in music?
I don't know. It just came to me. When I was young, I went to musical school, but never played duduk. But when I moved to California, that's how I don't know. One day I just woke up and at the recording sessions with my grandpa Gladiator, I said, I just want to play. He said, "It's too old. You're already too old for this. Just a starter, Especially I'm not gonna be next to you." It just came to me. I don't know. I missed my country, my friends, my parents, everyone. I came to a different life.
It was a connection.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a pure divine connection for both of you.
Yeah.
What's one thing you want to give, one piece of advice you want to give to young musicians? What's one advice you would give them? Just one sentence.
Just keep doing everything you love. Just do whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
A good thing, of course, like professionally.
Mm-hmm.
And never complain, never give up.
Chris?
Try everything. You're not going to like everything when you first try it. Maybe it's not what you're going to end up doing forever. Try everything and you'll find your love and you'll find where you belong.
You guys, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having us.
I had so much fun with both of you. And for those who are interested in the concert, September what?
September 6th, AGBU Performing Arts Center in Pasadena.
Tickets will be available. I will link the ticket link in the show notes.
Sweet. Thank you.
And Jivan and Chris, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I wish you guys the best. And for those who are interested in Chris's music and Jivan's music, I'll link the links below. And thank you again for coming to the Basement Tapes podcast. Goodbye.
Ciao.
Ciao.